Welcome to another podcast of the current situation at Manchester United. I'll be looking at Manchester United's aspiration for the upcoming season, where I believe we'll be, finishing in the table, any trophies that we can win, if any. Hell, that should be out of question. This is Eric Ten Hag's second full season. He's getting signings. I would like to believe that it's the signings that he wants. So there has to be a trophy in the bag at least for this season, a top tier trophy. Screw. I mean, we can get the FA Cup. I mean, FA Cup is like, middle. It's not a top tier trophy, but it's not really down because when you win the FA Cup, you get instant qualification to the Europa League. But we're not going to no Europa League. We're going to the Champions League because that's our aspiration, and we're a Champions League club. So with that being said, that's the type of things I'll be looking at, as well as I should say, a few more housekeeping notes in terms of transfers, the latest news on certain players like Mason Greenwood, Holland's injury. So I'm gonna get into that right now. Okay, so the first piece of news we have right here. Give me a second while I look while this loads. So I just talked about touched on Holland's, if that's his name pronunciation. Holland's injury. Um, okay, I agree. Okay, Manchester United can't be happy with Rasmus Holland's shocking injury development. Now, of course, as you guys should know by now, that he signed for Manchester United with an injury. So it says here that having only just been introduced to the Old Trafford faithful in front of the fans before we played against RC Lens, it was likely a shock for Man United fans to find out that the new signing wouldn't be available for a few weeks. I mean, hell, I can deal with a few weeks. I mean, the season starts when this coming Friday. It starts, or this coming Saturday, or it's definitely next week. But man, hey man, I'm not bothered by I'm not going to be rushing the injury development of not injury development because you don't want to have more injuries, but I'm not going to be rushing the recovering process of Mr. Rasmus Holland. I'm not, because this is one of the things. This is why certain players don't recover from an injury and they become trash. Because I mean, look at Torres, man. When Fernando Torres signed for Chelsea in 2011, he had an injury. He had an injury, and it was a major injury. It wasn't as major when he first signed, but he had the injury when Chelsea signed him from Liverpool. And this is not breaking news, but we all know what happened with Torres' tenure at Chelsea. He was not the same Torres at Liverpool, and it's because of that same injury. So I'm not saying that, to be the bear bad news and say that Rasmus is going to have the same fate as Torres at Chelsea. What I'm saying is that we should not rush him from the injury. Oh, we want to see him play at Old Trafford. The first game of the season. Dude, make him go stay on sick bay. Make him go stay in sick bay and go recover. Let him recover. We have Martial, who haven't seen this preseason, which is uh quite disappointing. But we have Rashford, and Rashford doesn't want to play in the middle. He wants to play on the wide side, the left hand side. But hell, we can put Bruno to play as a false nine and make Rashford bomb forward. There's options. We have options. We have an attack. We have a lot of attacking options. So there is no, room for error. There's no room for excuses. Really, we have attacking options aside from Martial. So yeah, so this 20-year-old that is Holland has an injury. So yeah, let him undergo his RMI scan, which is a part of the medical process as it says here, and just work his way through the injury, man. We don't want to rush him back because again we spent 72 bugs on this brethren. So there is no need in God's green earth to be rushing this guy after we spend that type of money on a striker, let's be honest, that hasn't really proven himself on the biggest stages. Next piece of news. Manchester United make final decision single quote, on releasing Mason Greenwood as forward nears comeback. I thought to say that Mason Greenwood was released from Manchester United because I'm saying, boy, get real with yourself. But it says here, Manchester United have reportedly decided whether Mason Greenwood will stay at the club after completing an investigation. So of course, it's of course, you know that Mason Greenwood is looking to come back to the Manchester United faithful to play back for Manchester United after his charges were dropped earlier this year. Yeah. So it says here Manchester United are in the final stages of talks regarding Mason Greenwood after deciding against releasing the 21-year-old. Dude, listen, man. We should not be releasing Mason Greenwood. I can see if we can sell him off, but don't release the guy like that, man. Just because, hey, I'm not enabling, I'm not, foregoing, I'm not backing the bad behavior he did to his girlfriend. We all heard the voice notes. I heard the voice notes and I was damned by hearing those voice notes. I couldn't even believe this was Mason Greenwood. If you look at Mason Greenwood, you wouldn't even think he was like that. But those were the voice notes, and that was his voice. So that said, everybody deserves a second chance. Maybe we won't be seeing him in the light that we once did, thinking that he was all innocent and prudish and wholesome, but we still give him a second chance and say, right, boom. And my eyes are on you. I know that you're not the same person. Well, that's what I thought anyway, but I must still give you a second chance. We can forgive, but we can never forget. Just to put it in a nutshell. Erting and his dressing room are said to be supporting the number 11, who will either join the Dutchman's squad or spend this season 2023-2024 on loan. So if there's a loan for him, then who's the club that is looking to loan him on? What is the club looking to loan him? They didn't say, but it's out in the open that Mason Greenwood may go out on a loan. My thing is this: if he goes on a loan, then he needs to go to like a club that's competing for Champions League. Not competing for, but is actually in the Champions League, and also a top tier league. No French league. Respect to French league. Not to French league, not to the MLS, not to Galatasaray league. I think that I don't remember the league, the Turkey league name for that league, but he needs to play in England still. Or if we send him to Championship, he can go to Championship, get some games on him built in England, not so far from England. If he goes to Bayern Munich, I wouldn't mind. If he goes to like in Germany, apart from Bayern Munich, I would mind. If he goes to Dortmund, I wouldn't mind. But then again, if you look at our striking options are slim. Because again, we have Martial, we have Holland, who is on injury. Martial is on injury. I haven't heard anything about Martial. So add that to the list. He's on injury too. We have Rashford. But there's no strikers here. We have wingers, yeah, but we don't have no strikers. So yes, if you're looking to loan him because of the bad deed that he did, to try get some heat off his shoulders because of what he did, that's a bad move in hindsight, because our squad options as relates to strikers is slim. We don't have enough strikers. And with the wingers that we have now, yes, Mason will play on the left, but I mean, on the right, but I mean, that's not going to be much. We have Sancho, we have Anthony. Was Elanga sold or what? But Elanga ain't go get much games anyway. So I mean, Former Manchester United forward, talking about forwards with Manchester United, Wood Wakehorse has sent a goodbye message to the United fans after a rather underwhelming loan spell in the Northwest. I don't know why he's just sending that. This bridge knocking as if we just sending back to Becky stats. Bro, you left like 2 months ago. Or is it that you're sending a message right now? It's like he needed that time, that 2-month period of thinking about what he was going to put in his vote of thanks, goodbye message or whatever, and then send it to man. Hey, keep your message, man. Keep your message. It's long overdue. Next news. Let me see what's the next news. Anything relating to Anthony Martial? Yes, I'm still on Anthony Martial because we need to find what's wrong with this brethren. United legend reveals he knew former manager would be eaten alive after first meeting. I wonder who. I bet say this is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I bet it's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Or David Moyes. Patrice ever reveals he knew David Moyes would get eaten alive after first team meeting. Well, he made you captain, didn't he? He made you his captain, didn't he? He had you, he had Vidic, he had Ferdinand as captain. So of course he knew that he would get eaten alive because you had first what you call it first hand knowledge because you're his right hand really. You're like his spokesman on the football pitch. So of course you know. So yeah, everybody know how Moyes was at. Speaking of Moyes, he wants 2 or 4 players, fringe players. He wants Maguire for I think it's for 35 mil, and he wants 35 mil, and he wants McTominay for either 15 to 20 mil. I would sell them off. I would sell them off. Given the options in our squad, they have no meaning to our squad really. I don't see why we're not releasing or no, we're not selling these players. We're not selling these French players. We need to sell our French players. Maguire is not beneficial by no stretch at all in our defense. So I keep him. Sell him off. Tottenham was interested in him. I don't know if Tottenham was doing a stunt or something or being not, serious, but they were interested in him based on news. They pull out. They knew better. They gave more side, so they pull out of it before destruction. Well, destruction is at Tottenham. Man, fuck, they lost to Barcelona 4-2 today. But, and hey, imagine if Maguire got play for them, probably lost about 10-4 or so. So. But with David Moyes, I believe, yeah, give him the players. Give him Oscar McTominay, give him Harry Maguire. Slim up the squad. We bring in new blood. We get Amrabat, the Moroccan midfielder. Yeah. Yeah, we sell and we sign, man. Yeah, that's how it's supposed. Yeah. So, next piece of news before I get into what I really want to talk to. Neymar latest after PSG bombshell. Now this is funny because Neymar a couple of days ago, 6 years ago, signed for PSG. Now he wants to leave PSG after 6 years. Neymar latest after PSG bombshell, while West Ham I just spoke on that. Okay. So yes, Neymar is looking to sign. Is looking to actually leave PSG. I've seen persons talking about bringing Neymar to Manchester United. Listen, when it comes on to business, if you're like the owner, if you're like the CEO of Manchester United, of course you want to bring in a player like Neymar because Neymar is going to bring more shirt sales and more income to the club. That's common knowledge. He brings more money into the club. He's a mercenary type player. He's a big name. So of course, if Neymar comes from a business perspective, he's going to put more money into the club. But when it comes on to like the cohesion, the understanding of the footballers on the football pitch, Neymar, nah. I know Neymar is a forward and we're kind of slim on forwards, but nah, I'm not taking a chance. Because if you spend money on Neymar, and we know Neymar can play as a number 10, he can play on the left, he can play on the right, and he can obviously play through the middle. Neymar is a left-sided player. And if Neymar is to play number 10, if he was to drop back and play number 10, where Bruno Fernandes is going to play? Centre midfield, Bruno Fernandes is not good as a centre midfielder. He's not good as a centre midfielder. His best asset is behind the number 9 as a number 10. So if you look, if you like break this down, if you think it through, yes, it's good to have a world class player Neymar, but if again, to be logical, man, Neymar shouldn't be coming to Manchester United. We have too much mercenary players. Hell, we have Sancho. Sancho is on a lot of money and he's not playing games. Rashford is almost on 400k per week. And he's hot and cold. He has his good games and he has his bad games. Martial, who ain't getting no game, is almost on 300k, if not on 300k already. So if you go sign Neymar and give him like 500k per week like he was Alexis Sanchez back in 2018, and he has the same thing as Alexis Sanchez back in 2018 of not doing nothing, then we're going to look stupid. We're going to look stupid because we spend money on this guy. And Neymar is not getting any younger, by the way. So it's best we stay far away from Neymar. Let's treat him like COVID and stay far from this guy. We shouldn't be signing this guy. We shouldn't be signing this guy. So yeah, there's different options outside of that, man. We shouldn't be signing, Neymar, man. Nah. Man, fuck, give me a second. Alright, I'm back for now. So it says here, next piece of news before I get into what I really want to talk about. And this may be quite a lengthy video podcast, to be honest, but I'm going to try to make it as short as possible. So 8 players who could leave the club before the transfer window closes. So that includes Harry Maguire, that includes Fred, that includes Scott McTominay, that includes Dean Henderson, that includes Donny van de Beek, 3 more. Let me check. Give me a second. I've said before, I would like to keep Fred. Dean Henderson wants first team football, so of course, given his ego, he wouldn't want to become second base or second stringer to Onana. He wants to actually play games. So yeah, he's going to Nottingham Forest on a permanent deal. Anthony Martial is the 6th name. See, he still has injury. Anthony Martial's preseason has been hampered by injury. With the arrival of Rasmus Holland, his position in squad looks under threat. And this is what I've been questioning. Seeing that we have a new striker right now, and Martial is fit, I want to see if Martial is going to challenge this young guy. Don't cap out, don't retreat, do not go to a different club. I want to see how you're going to challenge this young guy. Because that's how we know if you're first team material. But anyway, I can go get down into that rabbit hole right now. So the 7th player is Eric Bailly. Hey man, it was a decent run, Eric Bailly is the last player from Jose Mourinho's first transfer window with Manchester United before he left, because we signed that transfer window. We signed Eric Bailly, we signed Zlatan, we signed Henrik Mkhitaryan, and we signed who else? We signed another player who I'm not remembering right now. But yeah, Eric Bailly is the last player from that lot. And he's still here. It's best to sell Eric Bailly because he's not going to get much games. Oh, we need a saucy defender, bro. We have that in Martinez already. We don't need any more sauce in this sandwich. So let's move on. Next one, which is the 8th and last player, Brandon Williams. Sell him off, man. Sell him off. We don't need this bridging. He's not going to get much games, even if he's fit. He has injuries right now, but even if he doesn't have injuries, he's not going to get no game, man. So sell him off. Get rid of the deadwood. Let us leave all the loose ends checked. Let's not leave loose ends unchecked. Get rid of them. If there's an offer for them and it's reasonable, it's a reasonable offer, sell them off. Sell them off. If they're not good enough. Alright. The players that are not good enough in this lot. Brandon Williams. Obviously, Harry Maguire could have put him first. Who is next? Scott McTominay is not good enough as a starter. Next, Dean Henderson. His ego would like to let him believe that he's a first team goalkeeper, but he's really not. He's not good enough. The next player, Anthony Martial. Martial, talent-wise, is good enough, but his consistency is not good enough. His Given his injury record, it's not good enough, so he has to go. But then again, I'm going to look hypocritical because I actually want him to stay. And if we sell him, we have to get like probably 2 more strikers, bro. Even if we keep Martial and Holland is already here, we still need another striker. So if we go sell Martial right now, we have to get 2 strikers, and the transfer window ends in what? Like about 20 days or 22 days. 20 or 23 days. There are 31 days in August. Yeah, so yeah, it's best to keep Martial. Get rid of Bailly, get rid of Harry Maguire, get rid of Brandon Williams, get rid of Donny van de Beek. Sell them off, man. If there's a reasonable price, sell them off. Do not keep them. Okay, the last piece of news before I get, man, this video is going to be quite lengthy. Okay, you know what, let me get into the real meat of the matter right now. So, the season is upon us, you know. The great cloud of preseason is already passed. And we have a game against, who is our first game against? Let me check something. Manchester United. Because I believe our first game in the Premier League is against Wolves on Monday. So we have a game against Wolves. I mean, Wolves is having havoc right now, so we can cause havoc on Wolves in terms of on the pitch. They lost their manager, I think when they lost their manager, like yes, today, the man just walk out. So who knows? But the season is like starts next week for Manchester United. We have our first game on Monday. What is our aspiration for this season? We can't just go in the season and say, okay, we're going to do our best. Put the boys out. Pick the starting level. Do your best. What's the goals? What's the expectations? What's the end game? Seriously. Eric Ten Hag knows that he has to make a statement, not just win. No League Cup. No League Cup is not going to cut the cake for Manchester United. When you're managing for Manchester United, you have to win a bare minimum FA Cup. I was about to say trouble, but I'm not going to choke that on you just like that. I'm a walk before I start running. FA Cup, the Premier League, the Champions League, and if you're that good enough, the treble. Treble is not in our expectation right now, so we do not expect that right now. That is doing too much. Right now, we need to concentrate on challenging for the Premier League. I've heard Mark Goldbridge on his live stream. I haven't watched his videos like in a long time, but I just happened to watch it. He said that he believes Manchester United will win the Champions League. Cause his thing was that there has to be like a different winner. I'm trying to wing it. It's just what I'm thinking in the moment. I don't see Manchester United winning the Champions League. I mean, that's his opinion, but I'm going to give my opinion. Because when you put your opinion up there, you're opening others to give their opinion on your opinion. So my opinion is that we're not going to win the Champions League. Not by a sight. I mean, you can go to quarterfinals, but I'm going to get to that in a second. So, what's our aspirations? My prediction for Manchester United this season in terms of the Premier League is that we finish 3rd place. I know some person gonna say, bro, you and Smooth, we finished 3rd place. Yeah, we finished 3rd place. That's my estimated prediction that we're gonna finish 3rd place. Yeah, I mean, it's a big ask because again we're in the Champions League. We are in the Champions League. Which means that we have to prioritize which one of these competitions that is necessary of us going after. Hell, again, our squad is not good enough, and if it's good enough, then we have a decent squad of players. Our squad is not slim really. It's just that we have dead wood, and we have good wood in our squad. But again, in the Premier League itself, I predict that we finish 3rd place. And if we finish in 3rd place, then that means our prioritization of the Champions League has to be at least tops, probably quarter, like I said, quarterfinals. If you go quarterfinals and we drop out to quarterfinals, well, it depends because if we're playing against like FC Porto in quarterfinals, then of course you have to beat FC Porto. If you're playing against Olympiacos in quarterfinals, then we have to beat Olympiacos. But if it's against a side like Real Madrid or dare I say Manchester City in the Champions League quarterfinals, and we get beaten good on the day with our hands behind our back, then it's a good one. It was a good one. It was a good run, right? But if you're playing against a top tier side in Champions League, then we have to try go for it. And this is where the usage of players comes into play. We have to know which players play what competition. Look, we're in the Premier League, we're in the FA Cup. Well, the FA Cup ain't starting, but automatically we're in the FA Cup and we're in League Cup, Champions League. We need to know the players that will be used in these four leagues. The League Cup, fringe players need to be utilized in this League Cup. If we happen to, again, this should not be a priority, the League Cup. This is not a priority, but if we happen to win it, then we win it. But this shouldn't be a priority. Fringe players should be used in this league, in this League Cup. FA Cup, some players that that are main starters could play, but I wouldn't say they should be playing full 90 minutes. Take them off by like the hour mark, 55 minutes. That's if we're still in Champions League, by the way. So, God forbid if we get knocked out of the group stage again. God forbid if we get knocked out of the group stage. God forbid, then certain players that are first team starters should be playing in the FA Cup, especially in like the knockout rounds, not in the first initial stages. So yeah, we have to utilize the players, man. We can't be using our main squad in no League Cup, man. That's earing for disaster. I wonder why players get tired in the Premier League. Players get injured unnecessarily, and hell, we have international games. Players that are they play international, so we have to watch out for that. Yeah. So again, bro, we have to try get top 4 at least in the Premier League. We have to get top 4. So that's my prediction. Leave your predictions in the comment section. Like and subscribe to the channel if you have been watching up until this point, and I'm very appreciative of those that have been watching up until this point. Please continue watching. Secondly, as it relates to the Champions League, I just mentioned that tops, of course, make the groups, the knockout rounds. As far as the Champions League, I see us going out group stage, quarterfinals. If we go semi-finals, good. If we go to the finals, then good. If we get third place, if you happen to get a League Cup in the bag, like winning the League Cup, all this are a priority. You go far in the FA Cup, like semi-finals, get knocked out, because the players are getting tired. I will go to the finals of the Champions League, and we lose the Champions League. In my book, that's a good season, because that shows progress. Again, when was the last time we've been to a Champions League final? Since 2011. That's like a decade ago and 2 years. Yeah. So that's progress. That's improvement. You see? Secondly, if we get third place, I mean, we've been getting third place on the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We get third place under Erik ten Hag last season. So that's not much of a thing to brag about. We have been getting third place. But if we win the FA Cup, I mean, it's a lot of intricate things to it, man. So, not to confuse you guys or to confuse you guys, but my prediction, as I must state it again, is that we finish third place in Premier League. Again, if we win the FA Cup, the League Cup, which is not a priority of mine, then we win it. But it's not much to brag about or beat the drums about. FA Cup, if we win the FA Cup, then cool, that's cool. As far as the Champions League, I see us getting knocked out in the quarterfinals. Dude, listen. If AC Milan is going to the semifinals, if Inter Milan is going to finals, then we can go to the quarterfinals. Inter Milan got beaten 4-0 last season in the group stage, and guess who went to the finals? Inter Milan got to the finals, and they got beat by Bayern Munich 4-0 in group stage. So when it comes on to the Champions League, is who is better on the day, not who is the better side overall or period. If you're as good as Bayern Munich but you don't show up on the day, you go get beat. It's just like that. That's the Champions League, and it's a 2-leg round, not a 1-leg round. Oh, 30 minutes. I need to wrap right now. So our aspirations is that we finish top 4, at least 3rd place, tops. Liverpool will be looking to try challenge us. It's going to be a dude, listen. The Premier League this season is going to be very competitive, as it usually is. Gone are the days when it used to be like the top 4. That is Manchester United, Arsenal, Chelsea, and I guess you could say at least either Tottenham or who else? Well, Tottenham wasn't really getting top 4 finish really, but the original 3 at early in the 2000s was United, Arsenal, and Chelsea. As time went on, it used to be the top 4. That includes United, of course, Arsenal. Well, Arsenal was dropping off a bit. United, Chelsea. Chelsea was actually, improving in their dominance in Premier League. So they were becoming a force to reckon with. So that's United, Chelsea, Arsenal, and City. Tottenham was on the coming up. Then it went to the top 6. United, Man City. City started to come up now. Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham, and who else? Damn. Arsenal, United, Chelsea, City, Tottenham. Who else? Man, I'm missing them names, man. I'm missing names. Everton, Everton was like almost a top 10 challenger, But right now, it's like a top 10, dude. Chelsea can't even finish top 6. Liverpool almost by the scruff of them neck can't even finish top 6. Brighton is challenging now. Newcastle is challenging now. Who else is challenging right now? Aston Villa is challenging right now. So add those 3 to the top 6. That's 9. That's top 9. So this is going to be quite a competitive season. All sides are different and good in their own rights. City is elite. City is up here, so nobody can touch City. And you have a group of good squads like Manchester United, Arsenal, Chelsea. Chelsea has a good. Let me say something. Not to go on a digression, but Chelsea is a potential threat to top 4. They have no Champions League. They have no Euro League. They have no football on Thursday. They're in League Cup, FA Cup, and Premier League. That's it. And they have a thick squad. They have a thick squad, and they have sold a lot of players. A lot of players. So they can actually try out something. They can actually try challenge for top 4. So yeah, this season, it's gonna be a good one. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I was having family worship. What's the last piece of the thing I was talking about? Okay. So yeah, this season is going to be very challenging, and I would even say this. Although I said that Manchester United, I like to believe that Manchester United is going to finish top 3 or at least get top 4 finish. We may not even get top 4. So even if I said we may finish top three, that's not written in stone as a thought of mine. Because I think that Manchester United could slip up. We don't have a structured, strong side as yet. Like City is always guaranteed to finish first. So in one sense, the league is born because them always win it at the end. But again, when it comes on to competition from City straight down to Brighton and our Aston Villa, Newcastle, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, United, uh, Man City, sides are challenging. Everton is challenging. Everton is going to try challenge. Top 4, top 10 finish. So this is a season where United can even slip up and finish out of the top 4. And if we get out of, listen, if we're in the dying stages of the Premier League season and we don't have top 4 guaranteed, and we're still in the Champions League, we should go for the Champions League. We should go for the Champions League. If we're not in the top 4 and we're in the last chapters, the last stages, the last pages of the Premier League season, then we should go for Champions League. If we're still in the Champions League. If we're in the quarterfinals still, then good. If you qualify for the semifinals, then good. We go for the Champions League. Don't care if it's Real Madrid. Don't care if it's Bayern Munich. Don't care if it's PSG. We challenge for the Champions League. Comments down below, man. Comments down below. Comments down below. Who's supposed to be starting this season for Manchester United on a regular basis for first team starters? Starting with the goalkeeper, we have Onana. Right back is a funny one because Dalot kind of looks shaky, and I haven't seen much of Wan-Bissaka in the highlights that I've watched in the pre-season. It's a funny one, because Wan-Bissaka and Dalot is like they're missing both of what they're lacking. Like Wan-Bissaka, as we have criticized him for the past years, he's not as fluent when he's attacking, but he's good when he's defending. On the other hand, we have Dalot, who is good. He's fluent when attacking, but he's kind of suspect and fishy and slippery when he's defending. So it's like a different side of the flipping coin. So it's funny which one you want to actually start at right back, because both of them have different issues that both of them lack at the same time. I've seen Wan-Bissaka improve this attacking prowess, but is it up to the standard to be starting? That's the question you should be asking. Is it up to the standard where he should be starting on a regular basis, 30 odd games in the Premier League season, plus the Champions League? Is he good enough? Again, these are the questions we should be asking ourselves. Is Dalot good enough to be starting 30 odd games per season? When it comes on to the centre back, I'm not really sure on who to start at right back as yet. Going back to that position, of course, Lisandro Martinez and Varane should be our main centre back pairing. No questions about that. Left back, Luke Shaw. Second to Luke Shaw is Malacia, of course. We sold Tejas to that Saudi Arabia club that Ronaldo plays for with money. In midfield, this is where things kind of get tricky now. Of course, Casemiro should be starting as the number 6, like the man that's going to do all the dirty work. And in his own right, he can create as well, and he can get a couple goals. Casemiro is not a one-dimensional defensive midfielder. He's very integrated, so he can do this, he can do that, he can shoot, he can dribble. Not the best at dribbling. He's not a fast dribbler. I mean, he's resilient, so you know that he has a bit of samba in him, bit of sauce in him. But his main priority is to cover, screen, and defend the defense of Manchester United. That's why he's the number 6. To be starting alongside him, we have options. Freddy's not going to be starting with no Casemiro. Freddy's going to leave soon. Mount as a number 8, hell no. No Mason Mount in no number 8 position or in the double pivot beside Casemiro. That's not for him. That's not for him. Eriksen is a shout. Eriksen is a shout, but look, man, look. Eriksen is getting older. He's getting older. But if Eriksen is supposed to be playing with Casemiro as a double pivot, where Casemiro has more defensive duties than Eriksen, and Eriksen is kind of slightly pushing a bit further up in the attacking third, then that leaves Bruno Fernandes as the number 10. That means our midfield is started right there, so Mason Mount is going to miss out because he doesn't suit. He's not going to fit that midfield 3. Bruno Fernandes is going to be the main starter because he's a new captain. He's a certified new captain. So you can't have a captain on the bench because he has to be the starter. Casemiro is a certified starter. You do not bench a player like Casemiro. So that is 2. To be starting with these 2 midfielders, it has to be either Mason Mount or Eriksen. Logical choice would give it to Eriksen. Actually, Eriksen is getting older and he may not be playing much 90-minute games. So Mason Mount may be the starter. And this is where things get tricky. This is why we need an extra midfielder, because the midfield is imbalanced. It's not modified. It's not moderate. This is an imbalanced midfield. This is why we need a new midfield signing in Amrabat. Because Mason Mount is not disciplined. If he's to play deep, he's not going to be disciplined enough to stay deep. His natural inclination is to go further up. He's a goal-scoring midfielder. So if you go play this brethren deep in the double pivot, he's going to leak in holes that will be costly to us. Because when we lose the ball in the attacking third, guess who's going to be dropping back? Guess who's going to be running back? Mason Mount. And it's going to cause us defensive trouble if he doesn't drop back. So he's not supposed to be starting that double pivot. And Bruno Fernandes, as I've said before, if he plays deep, Bruno Fernandes has heart and passion, but that doesn't help with the, having successful tackles. That passion can lead him to getting a red card. And he's not as good at tackles anyway. So, this, again, man, this is why we need a midfielder, another midfielder. This midfield is not good enough for us to go, to challenge winning the Premier League trophy, or even challenging to the Champions League for that. We still need Amrabat. We still need a midfielder that can give balance to our midfield. If we win the midfield battle, we win the game. That's like the old school rule in the book of football. If our midfield is unsung, it is very complementary. Understand this. If the midfield is complementary, meaning that all these 3 midfielders complement each other. We don't want to be starting 2 midfielders that have the same quality and they play in the same position. That's going to defeat the purpose. 1 midfielder for this, 1 midfielder for that, 1 midfielder for that. We can't have 3 midfielders that does the same thing. Again, that midfield is going to be very poor. So the best logical choice is to start Casemiro as a deep midfielder. That's going to happen anyway. Christian Eriksen right now is the best midfielder to be starting with Casemiro. That's followed by Bruno Fernandes as the number 10. Mason Mount has to be dropped to the bench. Yes, he's a new signing, but he has to be dropped to the bench. He has to get used to the system first. We can't just throw him in the deep end and expect him to adapt. He has to be, he has to get used to it first. That leaves us to the attacking trio. On the left hand side, of course, is Marcus Rashford. On the right hand side, given that Mason Greenwood may come back to the squad, I've said this in a video and I must stick by it. If Mason Greenwood comes back to the squad, he's going to be a starting player. Not saying that he's going to be starting most of the games, but he's going to be starting some of those games, a good amount of those games. Anthony is going to be under Anthony's position, him starting regular, is going to be under threat. We have Sancho in the squad still, and we have Amad Diallo as well. I don't believe Amad Diallo has gone on loan. And we have Pelistri. We have Garnacho. We have wingers in our squad that can be potential threats in starting. Some person may say, well, Mason Martial is out with injury. Holland is out with injury, so the best thing to put is Rashford up top. Rashford is not good with his back to goal. Rashford thrives when he has space in front of him. In front of him, when he's looking in front of him, because he's a direct player. Rashford doesn't have the awareness as Martial. Martial has. This is why I said last season, before the season started last season, that Martial is the best number 9 to start up top, because he suits the system that Eric Ten Hag is trying to implement. He drops back and he can link the players that are running forward. I've said that before. He can play as a false 9 when needs be. This is Martial, and he can get his own goals. He can still score goals. Even if he drop back, he can still score goals. I've said Ronaldo is not going to suit that system because he can't play with his back to goal. Even in his prime, Ronaldo couldn't play with his back to goal like that. He has to play with this space in front of him. That's how he plays. He's a wide player. He's a direct player. So, in wrapping up, I'm at 46. I need to wrap this up. So, finishing up, Rashford on left wing. Up top, seeing that seeing that Martial and Holland is out with injury, that leaves the striking option vacant. So, let me go to the right wing. Right now, Anthony is going to be the starter on the right wing. But, like I said, his position is not going to be written in stone. So that means there's players that can actually challenge him for that position. Now, up top, when Holland is fit, he's going to be the main starting striker. No questions about it. Hey man, we have given Martial a lot of chances. And I believe after this season, not to call it, but I believe after the season, he's going to leave. After the season's coming in a couple of days, he's going to leave. I could be wrong. I'd like to be proven wrong, but I'm judging for right now. What I'm thinking right now. And what I'm thinking right now is that when Holland is fit, he's going to be the starting striker. If you all have any opposing thoughts, leave them in the comment section below. So, finishing this video right now, because I don't want this to get lengthy than 50 minutes. Or no. Oh, right back position. And this is going to be putting me in a bad position. I'm going with Dalot. Tough decision, but I'm going with Dalot. He has defensive woes about him, but I like to think that will be worked on in training. That's why training exists. Dalot right back. Lisandro Martinez with Varane centre back pairing, with Luke Shaw, that's the back four, and the goalkeeper. In the midfield we have Casemiro, Eriksen, Bruno Fernandes. The attacking, we have Rashford, Holland when he's fit, and Anthony on the right wing. If you have any opposing thoughts to what I just said, post them down below in the comment section. I would like to hear your thoughts. Yeah man, I'm very excited about the upcoming season, man. I'm very excited. Very excited. Again, if you have any opposing thoughts, leave them in the comment section below. With that being said, I'll show you guys in the next video podcast. Maybe that be tomorrow or on the other day, we'll see. Comments down below. Take care. Peace.